Welcome back, everyone. My guest is an authentic, wise shaman here, and he is explaining his life as a shaman. Before we get much further, I got to ask you about that powerful painting behind you. What is that all about? That is so amazing. Those eyes are penetrating, and that array of colors is just so awe-inspiring.
So earlier in the show, I was talking about a Kundalini activation I had, where I had shared that I had ancestors of mine show up in that very powerful meditation and activate me with certain gifts as an energy alchemist and a spiritual healer. What I found out was one of those ancestors is a Native American Apache woman who is down line of my fifth grandfather, and she's the sister of my fifth grandfather. Her name is Lozen, and she lived here in the Apache tribe in the 1800s, South New Mexico border and northern Mexico border. And she is one of my spirit guides, and she guides me, and she is actually activating me daily with upgrades and power to be more effective as a healer and as a shaman. So when I decided I was going to start doing podcasts and getting my message out there, I try to find things that would inspire me to have behind me. And I asked her to show me some symbols to look for. And this is what she guided me to, was a version of her supporting me. So now, when I look on the camera and I see her behind me like that, I am reminded that I am um, divinely guided and protected. And she is my spirit guide.
So listen, how can people get a hold of you while we have a moment here? I'm assuming you have people you can help. How can they get in touch with you?
So the starting point for me, I usually send them to my website, because my website is either going to um, excite you, and it has a certain frequency built into the website, and the words and the content, everything about my website is the starting point. And if you get to my website and you read what I do and how I do it, it's either going to resonate with you and you're going to continue to reach out to me. But all my information is on my website at alexurbina.com. It's ALEXURBINA.com. If you go there, it's really designed to either have you get excited and move forward, or even to challenge you a little bit, for you to pause to circle back around, if I'm supposed to be working with you later at a different time, for you to decide that I'm the person that gets to hold that space for you to heal yourself.
Okay. Can people willingly choose to become like you, to become a shaman, or do they have to go through some esoteric, let's call it initiation, for lack of a better word, or process, perhaps is a better word?
To be honest with you, I'm not too sure how it works for other people. I can tell you from my experience, it feels like it's a frequency that starts out being excited at different stages, right? So maybe you get excited about learning Reiki or yoga, and then it just starts. Once your higher self has you on that path, your higher self is going to continue to lead you down that path with a frequency that you're going to feel. So it's like an intuitive hit, and then from you're just going to move on through the different stages until something tells you through your feeling, or a sense that you're supposed to continue to go down a specific path. So I think that as a shaman, if you're supposed to be a shaman, you'll resonate with that word. You'll start being obsessed with learning more about it. You'll buy books. You'll watch podcasts. There's certain thing about frequency that you can't deny, is that it is powerful beyond measure. So when a certain frequency or resonance that you're feeling, your knee will shake. So, for example, I have people that are going to be listening to this call. Certain people, they'll know I'm speaking to them, and they were supposed to get this message because their knee will shake, or
Hmm.
they'll feel a certain twitch in their body. And I'm sure we've all had that, where we've watched something and we just felt like, I need to find out more. And so that's the frequency that's coming not just through me, but through my words and through my essence, and being captured on this video. And it could be, I mean, people could watch this video 10 years from now and still feel that frequency. So it just depends.
Yeah, I think people, when they're thirsty, uh, we, you and I, and other people like us, feed that energy and quench their thirst in whatever way that they're looking at that time. And it's good that you came up that there are different stages or levels, because where I was going with that question, and I think you answered it, was you just don't automatically become a shaman. You just don't automatically become an intuitive or spiritually awake. You have to take those steps. And from what you said in your life journey, you not only in this time decided and then worked really, really hard to get yourself back in balance. You had a sort of like a remembrance of your initiation or times or lives previous that kind of helped. I mean, not everybody can be in the spiritual world like a teacher, but they all can be participatory in the world, being spiritual beings. And I would think that your clients, after they meet you, you change them. You change them permanently, along with their will to do so, of course. What do you think?
Absolutely. It starts with the desire to want to change. And so, and I like to say this over and over again, on different media platforms, is that even though I call myself a healer, I don't believe that anybody outside of you is really the healer. The word healer is just a title for you to understand what field I'm in. It's kind of like your 3 second elevator pitch. Oh, you're a healer. And so then they just know, oh, you help people heal. But ultimately, I believe that everybody is their own healer. So if you come to me, I'm not necessarily healing you. You're healing yourself. However, I do hold a specific higher frequency of your healed self because that's what I'm committed to. So I'm really inviting you to match the frequency of your healed self and to jump along onto that train. And so whatever the time that we spend together, whether it's a few hours or a few minutes or a couple days, by stepping on to that frequency that I hold for you, for your healed self, then there's things are going to be shifting within yourself, but you're ultimately healing yourself. And then ultimately, what I'm doing is I'm just transmuting the energy that you say you want to let go of. So all your fears, all your insecurities, all your traumas, all the low vibrational frequencies that you either created within your energy body or attracted to you at this time, if you want it to be removed so you can heal, then I can transmute that energy for you. So it's more like a partnership, but I am not the healer. You are the healer. And so I will help you remember that and then step into that frequency so you can learn how to continue to heal yourself moving on past me.
That's wonderful. Do people come to your studio to see you in person, or do you do work online?
So it's a little bit of both. If you're nearby me and you feel compelled, you will drive however long it takes to get you from San Diego to northern to San Francisco, 2 or 3 hour radius around me. People are driving in, but for the most part, the type of work I do doesn't require for you to be in front of me. It's energetic, so I can help transmute energy, and healing can happen anywhere in the universe. You don't have to be necessarily right in front of me. In fact, a lot of very powerful healings that I help people create for themselves have been, across the world. So it just doesn't matter because energy doesn't know time and space. Energy is everywhere. So it has its own network, and it travels long distances in an instant and can cause a shift in somebody. I can help somebody remove a headache from a level 10 of pain to zero, either instantly or within minutes or within hours. It just depends on the person's desire, will, and belief, and willing to let it go as well. So you take all those combinations, and anything is possible.
Well, that's amazing. I'm kind of aware of the ever-present moment where there's no time and no space. So, for people watching, it's kind of a concept that's a little difficult, perhaps, when they're just hearing it for the first time. But at the speed of thought, wherever they are in the world, you're making some sort of, let's call it a connection with them, when you do that, do you see them? I'm asking rhetorical questions because I know the answer, but do you see them? Or for the audience sake, what's the process of helping these people, no matter where they are?
So there's several ways to answer this question. I can answer it five different ways, but I'll start with just whatever comes naturally through me. I have a connection to my higher self, and it's a strong frequency that I've developed, and it's pretty locked in. And once you're connected to your higher self, you're connected to the infinite universe of truth. So with my abilities, I can just ask my higher self to connect to your higher self, and then I can ask any questions and get truth about you. And majority of the questions I ask is just about your health and your wellness. And so I'm trying to figure out what are some of the negative energies in your energy body that's causing any type of pain or suffering. And what I do is if I've already met you or we've done a Zoom call, I just visualize you in front of me and I'm having a conversation, or I can clear you while you're in front of me visually, or, with my eyes closed and I'm visualizing you there. And that's how it works. And then when you add my spirit team and your spirit team, it's a whole nother ball game, because I didn't explain that earlier. The way I explained it earlier is just you and me, and that's not necessarily the case. We have a team of very powerful spirit guides, angels, ascended masters. We have a very powerful team that is not visible. That's also in cahoots with what our intentions are. So they match our intentions. So if your intention is to heal yourself, you will heal yourself. You'll either be directed to the right person to help facilitate it. And so that's kind of how it works, is energetically.
Well, free will and free choice being what it is, sometimes people don't want to be helped, or they're blocking their own progress. And I guess explaining that to them is enlightening to them when they realize, wait a minute, I've been blaming everybody else. I'm playing the blame game, and I got to work on me and my team. I mean, it's interesting when people become aware that they're not some lonely vessel adrift in the sea. They just need to open up and look around, and there's this group of meaningful beings around there. So when you enlighten people by saying that, I mean, they must have a big smile on their face, or they go out the door wondering what the heck, or oh, why didn't I know this before? What do you think?
Well, that's the purpose of these podcasts. That's the reason why you have this show. Your mission is to hold space for people like me and others to come on and plant these seeds. Again, when I talk about contracts or agreements, we made soul agreements, even though we just met a few minutes ago. Um, you and I had a soul agreement to be here today to have this conversation, to plant seeds and to remind people, everyone who's watching right now in this moment, to remind them of who they are, what they're capable of. But it does take segments. It takes, you know what I mean? I might not be, or you might not be the first person or the 10th person or the 100th person that has explained this to them or has invited them to see or feel or remember this, but it might be the 110th person who finally says this to them, that they go, it must be so. Let me explore more.
Well, everybody's I'm not going to throw you a curve here, but everybody in the world is wondering what the heck is going on. We went from an okay, ordinary world to now total chaos. And I'm talking not just in North America, I'm talking in different places as well. So, can you address that question about this planetary consciousness or soul mind consciousness?
Yeah. So I'll say it like this: for those of you that see chaos, it's not necessarily chaos the way that you see it, only the way you see it. There are other people, I'll say it, hundreds of thousands, if not maybe a few million, that have changed their perspective on life. They're creating different realities. There's a different world that they're experiencing, and we don't see chaos. I'm just saying that to plant a seed that the way that you see chaos may not necessarily really be chaos. And the way I'm saying it like that is because you don't understand the bigger picture. If you understood the bigger picture, or if I could fast forward time 3 years from now or 10 years from now and took you there to look back, you would go, oh, now I see what was happening that I couldn't see back then in on March 24th, 2025. So I'm trying to explain to you that the way your current perspective is now might possibly be limited, and it might also be skewed with certain negative beliefs and fear-based beliefs and conditioning that has you see it in such a limited way that is stopping you from expanding your broad perspective of seeing a bigger picture. When you can see a bigger picture, there's nothing to worry about. The chaos is just chaos, and it's leading to such a bigger breakthrough and something so advanced that we can't even comprehend. So that's what I would like to say to people that are experiencing, because I trust me, I know that if you're seeing that the world's falling apart and it's chaotic and it's bringing a lot of fear, I'm compassionate that's what you feel, because it's real to you. It feels real because it's the only way that you know how to see it. But I want you to know it's not the only way to see it. And if you're willing to do a little bit of work and expand your consciousness and your self-awareness, you can learn to see it in a more empowering way. It just takes a little time, it takes effort, but it also takes a willingness for you to not hold on to some of that fear-based conditioning and beliefs that they've been working for you for such a long time. And that's why I think COVID came in. And I think that's why we're at where we're at right now with all the things that are happening in the world, is to challenge us, to force more of us to be more aware, more enlightened, more awakened, so that we can keep expanding. Because a lot of us in the world collectively aren't expanding, and we wanted to go back to the way that it was. And we cannot go back to the way it was ever. And we've never have. The world has, in case you didn't know this, the world has always been expanding with or without you. All you have to do is decide to keep expanding with the world or Earth, and the way that world is evolving. But if you don't, it's going to get more challenging for you.
Very well said. My guest today has been a truly amazing man who is a shaman. He's well experienced. Alex Urbina. How do you say your name again?
It's Urbina, like urban cowboy, Urbina.
Okay, well, I sometimes get it mixed up so people remember.
There you
Anyway,
go.
Alex Urbina
Exactly.
is a shaman, and it's been a delight to have you on the show. And how can people find your website again? What is it?
Yeah, it's Alex Urbina. If you look at my name, it should be on the Zoom call. If you're listening on the radio, it's ALEXURB as in boy, INA.com.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here, my friend. We'll have to do this again at some future time. Uh, your wisdom, I'm sure, will be shared to many people across our podcast. And we ask everybody who's listening to please share these words of wisdom. So until next time, thank you for joining us on the Soul Report. We hope today's conversation has enriched your journey and ignited new perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, and for more inspiring stories, follow us on our social media channels. Until next time, keep nurturing your spirit, seeking knowledge, and spreading positivity. Farewell, my friends. Remember, the growth of your soul is the most exciting journey you can embark on. Thank you for being on the show, my friend. Take care, and may God bless.